faith that should push you. It is your belief
Yes,
in
that's
knowing
good.
who you are and knowing whose you are, and what God has put inside of you is just for you. You are unique in yourself. You don't need anyone
right.
else to help you to be what you are, because there's so many people who are already looking at you and saying, I wish I had what you had, or why do they have it? And you don't even realize that it's already glowing on the outside of you.
That's
it's
right.
already there. It's already working, trying to work its way out. So just believe in yourself.
That's right.
I believe
yes.
that.
Now that is so powerful. You got to believe in you.
Yes.
You know, so often we believe in everybody else, but we don't believe in ourselves. We just don't believe we can do it.
Right.
Something happened. You know, because of we're wired for defeat. Something has happened. I think it's called the fall of Adam, where the fall of Adam, and we think that we can't live by ourselves. Some people sleep with the light on. They're so afraid. They're fearful. You know, they're afraid. You know, fear the boogeyman gonna get them. Okay, you can't live life in fear.
Wow.
You have to rise in faith, as you alluded to. You have to be determined that you're going to succeed and believe in yourself. Amen.
Right.
Believe in who you are.
To.
Know that God didn't create any junk. He didn't create you to suffer and be busted, disgusted, and can't be trusted. He didn't create you like that. He created you for a purpose. You have an assignment that you have to fulfill. You have an assignment. You have a purpose. So you have to find that purpose. And if you should fail, don't blame anybody else. So often, listen to me good, so often we believe that someone else's fault the reason why we didn't succeed. We think it's their fault. It's my mama. She didn't treat me right when I was a little kid, and it was my daddy. He was mean to me, and it was the white man. You know, the white man held me down for so long, and I couldn't do nothing. And I tried, but I just couldn't do nothing with my life. And look at it, it's jacked up, and I'm messed up and tore up from the flow up.
Wow.
And we blaming others. We blame it. Listen, if you don't succeed, it's your own fault. It's your own fault. Never blame anybody else the reason why you can't succeed.
Right.
Never point the finger and say, it's your fault.
Right.
It's this boyfriend I had. Hey, if it's not working, the relationship is not working, get out of it.
That's it.
Find you the right one for you. We'll stay in relationship, because I believe we are created to sabotage ourselves. I believe that. I believe we'll shoot our own self in the foot.
Right.
I believe we'll put one of them loose around our neck and jump. I think we're created suicidal for some reason. For some reason, we feel less than. Wow. Something happens that we feel inadequate, we feel inferior, and we feel less than. And that is a tool of the enemy to keep you living in defeat. You have to know who you are, know whose you are, and know that God created you in his image and his likeness, and you can hold your head up high and feel good about you. And if you should fail, get back up, brush yourself off, because now you know what doesn't work, and find out what does work. Adela?
One of the things that I've seen in people is watching people walk without the deposits. They're empty. And that's because as children, the right deposits were not put inside of them. Most people are afraid to move forward because it brings about responsibility. When you hear about people, someone's calling in.
That's all right, don't
worry
worry about it.
Hear about people that nothing but good inside of your children.
Absolutely.
Parents should put within every child that you're great. You are someone already. And just keep pushing them and pushing them. And as they grow up, they'll believe it. They may not believe it initially because they haven't accepted who they are. But as they begin to grow and go out and see other kids and other people, they'll begin to say, yeah, I am good. I do have potential. I can do this. I can do that. And realize that responsibility is great. Every talent, everything that you want to do brings about responsibility.
That's right.
And I know a young lady, well, I grew up with a young lady who had so much great potential and she wouldn't do anything. One day, just out of curiosity, I asked her, I said, why is it you don't want to help, or you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that? And she said to me, because if I begin to do that, then that means that I'm going to be responsible. That means I have to do it and people are going to depend on me. She was afraid to step out.
And you know, that is so good, because so often people believe in overnight success. They believe that they can be successful overnight. You are going to have trials, difficulties.
Yes.
You're going to hit snares. You're going to run into some difficulties.
That's right.
That's a part of your dream coming to fruition.
Right.
You're going to face some difficult times. No question, no doubt about it. That's going to happen.
Right.
But you cannot believe in overnight success
Right.
as if it's going to take place overnight. It's going to take consistency, because consistency breaks the resistancy. I don't know if that's a word, but
We'll make it one tonight. Okay.
but being consistent and disciplined.
Right.
We have to learn how to discipline ourselves. We'll never succeed
Right.
if we don't have the discipline in our lives to resist and say no, because we will sabotage ourselves. The enemy will sabotage us, but we have to have a life that is disciplined. And discipline with consistency, you can't lose with the stuff you can use.
That's wonderful.
Adela?
That's wonderful. You know, we have to understand that we're going to fall, as you said. We're going to make mistakes. And I have no idea how many times it took Thomas Edison.
Oh, it was a lot of times.
How many times it took him before the electricity became a reality. And how many times he was shocked, but yet he never gave up. He said, ooh, ow, that may hurt, but I know now that it works. And he continued with it. He continued. It isn't how many times you fall down that works. It's getting up that counts.
That's good stuff. That's great.
You have to get up.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You were watching by way of television. That's powerful.
A failure will stay down, because now I don't have the responsibility. I don't have to get up. I don't have to do anything. No one's going to expect anything out of me.
Wow.
And that's a bad place to be. But think about it. You could have someone right on your job, someone that you know, a friend, that live in that world. I don't want anybody to expect anything from me, because then if you expect something from me, then I have to be responsible for what you expect.
And in all reality, that's a good thing, that you can then begin to measure according to where you're at. And if you don't like where you're at and you measure, then you just work harder to fulfill your God-given purpose and dreams. You have to be able to measure things. You know, if you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. Just face it. If you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. So you have to be able to measure your life. And during the course of your dreams and your visions, you must measure where you're headed and where you're going. You got to know, first of all, you got to know what you're up to and the difference you ought to make and what you're trying to accomplish. And then don't just think only the dream matters. You can't just say only the dream matters. It's about the journey along the way. As your journey into your greatness of success, you got to enjoy the journey. Because if you're so connected to just the dream, you won't enjoy life. It'll be miserable. And sooner or later, you'll just say, I'll forget it. Life is boring. Because you don't have that excitement and that joy as you're traveling. It's like people who just want to jump on a plane and head to Hawaii or head to Florida or head to California. They just want to get there. They don't want to travel and see the scenery and stop it and enjoy the journey with the kids or the grandkids and stop somewhere and have a bite to eat. But they just want to zoom and get there quickly. Well, I want to encourage you, if you want to fulfill your God-given purpose, don't just allow just the dream, only the dream matters. Be concerned about the journey as you're going forth, and enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey.